Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. Thank you guys for tuning in today. So we're talking about an NBA investigation into tampering. Apparently the Lonzo Ball and Kyle Lowry trades might have been talked about prior to free agency opening. Simone Manuel also has a message for the media that we're going to be getting into in just a second. But before we do, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share it with your friends. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. I look like a floating head on this background. I'm realizing my shirt is blending right into this, but you guys can follow me on Instagram as @Devin Howard.
You're so silly. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter @JRayTheFanatic.
Okay, gotta adjust real quick here. There we go. Anyway, Jackie, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I mean, I relaxed all day yesterday because I was just exhausted. I had that audition for KFI on Saturday.
Yes.
Yes. I did so good. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but beep beep, I killed it. But I don't think I realized it was a 2-hour show. I mean, I think I knew that in my head because I listened to the Mo Kelly show. I was filling in for Mo Kelly. But in my head, I was like, oh, they know I'm not regular. They only gonna make me do it. I don't know why I came to that conclusion. 2-hour show. So shouts out to every radio personality that's out there holding down a 2-hour show by themselves. That is an art form. I feel like I did really good, but nonetheless, that is an art form. You guys are killing it out there. Good job.
2 hours is a long time. I heard that clip that you put on your, I think it was your story, but you sounded great. You sounded very natural up there. So I think that's awesome. Congratulations on being able to do that. And I hope it leads to many more opportunities. But yeah, 2 hours. Even doing an hour-long show with a co-host can sometimes it's a lot of talking. Like I finish up this show at the end of it and I'm like, whew, all right, gotta not talk to anybody for 20 minutes. But doing a 2-hour show alone, damn, that would be rough. So I'm proud of you. Good job. Let's get into the news. I want to talk about this tampering investigation that's going on. I'm really, wondering what you think about this, Jackie, because to be honest, I'm not surprised to know that there might have been conversations that have happened before free agency opened. So, like I said, the NBA is looking into whether any tampering took place during the two big trades that happened during this offseason. Kyle Lowry and Lonzo Ball were two free agents. Kyle Lowry was one of the most sought-after ones that we saw on the market. And naturally, it made sense that they would have a ton of offers, a ton of teams interested in them, and the deals would get done relatively quickly. But according to the NBA, they seem to have gotten done just a little bit too quickly. For Lonzo, his sign and trade deal with the Bulls went through moments after free agency opened. Kyle Lowry was not too long after free agency opened. Plus, there were rumors ahead of free agency that was a trade that was going to happen. So whenever there's the rumors and then the actual move that happens, that kind of does lend itself to, the idea that maybe these conversations happened prior to the period opening up. So Woj said that the NBA is expected to examine early contact on those deals ahead of free agency, and the Bulls and the Pelicans may have a hard time refuting any of those claims. Like I said, since Lonzo's went through moments after free agency opened, and it was, involved a bunch of other people. It was a pretty big deal. That's going to be hard to deny that they were discussing it before. Same with the rumors about Kyle going to the Heat. That also definitely is going to make it hard for them to be like, no, we never talked about it until after 6 p.m. Eastern time on August 2nd. So there are several rules and repercussions in place to discourage teams from doing any sort of tampering. Punishments can range from a fine to a loss of a draft pick to the contracts being voided, which is super insane. None of those options are pleasant, but of course that voided contract one would be the worst and most severe punishment yet. And voiding a contract it's a big deal, and it's something that I think that it would take a lot for the NBA to actually go through with that, but it's scary that that's even a possibility. Now, these tampering rules that we've talked about this on the show, they can be a little bit flimsy. They're kind of, we've talked about how even an athlete speaking on a TV show or to the media about another player or tweeting something can qualify as tampering. So it seems like the NBA is just kind of all over the place with these tampering rules. So what is your reaction to this news? How do you feel about the NBA investigating the Lonzo Ball and Kyle Lowry trades? Do you understand why they're doing it, or should they just let it go?
I mean, of all the trades that I thought would be investigated, it definitely wasn't this trade, because I just didn't feel like that was one of those ones. It did happen quickly, but I saw somebody in the chat say it, I think it was Cristobal, these players talk all the time. People know where they want to go all the time. And it's just one of those things that happens because these guys actually do know each other and they like each other. If you know you're going to be on the chopping block too, if people are looking for value for you, your agent might know that as well. So you just don't know. Sure, is it possible, and will it be hard to refute that any conversation whatsoever happened? That will be almost impossible to refute. It just happened too quickly. Obviously, some conversation did happen. You have to figure out where, if it's mute or I'm going to mute you, Jeremiah, just so you know, because you are it's Monday. We're trying to start on a good note. And your anger management, that lady needs to have her license revoked. It's not working. So let's go on to, let's talk about what we're talking about. I think it's hard to refute that when it happens so quickly. But if we remember, though, the Kyle Lowry situation, Kyle Lowry, everybody was clamoring for Kyle Lowry during the trade deadline. So you don't know what conversations were started at that time that maybe now they're just adding the finishing touches on to conversations that were already started when it was legally permissible to start those conversations. But the reality of it is this is still business. And I don't know. I've always said this. I think we might need to revisit some of these tampering rules. I get if it's the middle of the season and you go in there and you say, oh, you know, there's no trade deadline in sight, and now you're just in there talking stuff and you're trying to snatch somebody. That's one thing. But during the off season and people are just kind of chilling and having dinner with everybody else, and the circle is too small. And if somebody says, hey, you know what, I've always entertained going to Chicago, then all of a sudden, if that agent is at that table, then it becomes, okay, well, damn, I think I can make that work. You know, but if they're really just looking to say, if for them tampering equals a conversation that happened outside of a specific window of time, they'll definitely find it. There's no way they won't. People talk all the time in this business. So if that's what they're looking for, they're definitely going to find it.
So do you think that it's worth looking into for the NBA, or do you think they're kind of just being a little bit too intense about these tampering rules?
I think they're being too intense. I mean, I fully expected to hear a tampering with the Russell Westbrook situation. Personally, I was fully expecting that. When we knew that they went out to dinner, I was expecting an investigation into that. We didn't see that. And it's probably because I've always said that it's not the players that sign the contract, right? So even if players do talk, they're not the ones that sign the contract. It's going to have to be somebody, one of the higher ups that do that. But we know how people hate LeBron. We know how people hate the Lakers. So I was fully expecting that. This investigation kind of threw me off guard because I wasn't ready for that, because I didn't think anybody cared enough about, well, I know that sounds bad, but it's just not one of those organizations. People like to say Lakers tamper. It's been like that since the dawn of time. So I wasn't expecting this. I do think it's a little too intense. I do understand it's because of how quickly it happened. But again, some of these conversations could have been started at the trade deadline last season. It doesn't mean that these conversations weren't finished off now, but we don't know what kind of conversations were happening. We know who was on people's chopping block and who wasn't. A lot of these guys have been in conversations for quite some time. Kyle Lowry is one of those. Kyle Lowry has been on a lot of conversations with a lot of different teams. So I just don't think that that's one that you really need to focus on. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. So team executives at any time over the course of the season or the off season can be randomly audited, where they're going to have to submit their phone calls, texts, emails, any conversations that they've had to the league for them to kind of determine if there has been any tampering. So I think it'll be a somewhat easy fix to figure out if these are conversations that did start during the earlier trade discussions and then kind of took a pause as the season was resuming. However, I find it...
Let me just say that. It's like you're going to audit my phone calls, my emails, all of that. Like, I've never sat down and watched a crime show. If I was a GM, president of basketball operations, I would have 10 burner phones. I'm just being honest. Yeah. You're not going to catch me on no email or text message on my personal account. No.
Mm-hmm. You're right, and that's what I was just about to say too. I almost feel like it's a little ridiculous to think that these teams and players are not discussing this all the time. I think that these are conversations that are happening all the time. Maybe it's happening on Finsta accounts on Instagram, maybe it's a burner phone, maybe it's a fake email or using a friend or a family member's phone or something like that. But I feel like these tampering is going on all the time. That's just my take on it. I think it's silly to assume that they're not having conversations, whether it be in person, like at dinner with LeBron and Russell Westbrook, or, you know, in any other circumstance, any other digital communication that's maybe not as easily tracked. I understand that the NBA wants to create sort of a level playing field when it comes to these trades. They want to make it so that people aren't getting a head start and they're not orchestrating these deals before they're really supposed to. I get it. I just think it's a very difficult thing to manage, and to kind of pinpoint these two specific sign and trade deals in this off season, it does feel a little bit random. I know Lonzo's deal was especially complex, so that probably raised some red flags with how quickly it was done. But I don't know. I just think it's happening all the time, and to try and really manage and crack down on it is going to be such a difficult, nearly impossible task for the NBA. Don't you think that this is something they can never fully stop?
Oh yeah, no, you're never going to stop, quote unquote, tampering. Because, you know, like I said, I'm not a real huge fan of that term. Like, people are going to talk, people are going to do what they do. I get that the Lonzo deal was complex. However, I have a team of people working with me, not only my staff, his agent's working with the other team as well. If you got the right people on your team who are intelligent, you can make a complex deal happen with the right phone calls fairly quickly. On top of that, how far are you going to take this? Are you going to, because, you know, again, I watch a lot of crime TV. So are you going to go as far as the police and subpoena my phone records? Are you going to ask me for a copy of my phone bill? I need to know, because I'm sure it's written somewhere. Do I have to supply you because that was the whole thing with Tom Brady, right? When he didn't want to give them his phone because whatever was on his phone was still there. But if you have time to delete it and then give them your phone, I mean, what does that mean? You know, people delete stuff. You know, iPhone even has that thing now where you can set it up so it just disintegrates. And so your message doesn't have to be there all the time. So how far are we taking this? Are we subpoenaing court? I mean, you can't get the court involved. So is that in their thing where you have to give your phone records? And again, I would have my regular account, but I would have a burner account. This just seems stupid. It seems like the league they could put their attention elsewhere. There are a lot of things in the NBA that needs to be fixed. Figuring out who did what at what time when it happened within the legal parameters, I don't know. I just think that they could focus their energy somewhere else.
I'm with you on that one. I agree 1000%. Unless there's some really obvious, blatant thing going on that's destructive to a bunch of other people in the league, I think that their energy could definitely be focused on. Here's an idea. Training the refs to be better at their jobs so that they aren't so annoying.
That's right? So enlightening. What?
Like, that's where we should be focusing our energy. Let's move on. Let's talk about Simone Manuel, because she had a pretty strong message for the media and the press. So she sort of took a direct aim at the media this week when she posted a bunch of tweets that really urged reporters and anybody conducting, press conference interviews to stop interviewing athletes when they've just, experienced a really disappointing performance or a loss. So she's a 25-year-old U.S. Olympic swimmer and bronze medalist, and she just is getting tired of the interviews that are taking place with all of these athletes when they finish up and it's not been a good race or a good whatever. I don't know if you can call everything a game for them. So she posted, please stop interviewing athletes right after a disappointing performance before they have any time to process anything. Trust me, they gave it their all. Nothing else people need to know at that time. She went on and said, another tweet, which we can put up, Leo, if you have it ready. The amount of people who say we're just sore losers or that we are obligated to do the interviews is problematic. Lack of empathy for athletes is problematic. As someone who studied communication in college with multiple journalism classes, I understand the role of media." And then she went on and said, another tweet, "As an athlete, I'm hyper aware on how their role can be improved for the betterment of all of us. Personally, I believe there should be some type of / better training to know when and if to interview and how to talk about certain topics, victories and disappointments and alike." Now, she went on to post several more tweets, but I just felt like it was going to be kind of a long time for me to be talking and reading them. But basically, she was just saying a sentiment that you and I have talked about a bunch of times here on the show, Jackie. Having these interviews with these athletes when they just had a really bad game or they just lost or whatever it is, you're not really going to get these amazing sound bites anyway. You're just going to get a really, really depressed looking person who is sitting there begrudgingly, would rather be literally anywhere else. So I know that sometimes going over these losses can be enlightening and they can be, you can sometimes get a good story or whatever out of it. But ultimately, I do think we need to prioritize human decency, taking care of one another, and being respectful of a really bad day. So I actually liked what she had to say. I understand that the media and sports in general they have this sort of symbiotic relationship. They kind of they can't really exist without one another. So I understand why the media needs to be there and to conduct these interviews. But it's like when Rachel Nichols asked, who was it that she asked when she was like, "How does it feel?" And he's like, "Yeah, Chris Paul." Yeah. She's like we lost. Yeah, it's just kind of, you're not going to get anything really that amazing out of these kinds of interviews. So, Jackie, do you agree with what Simone said in these tweets?
I do. And I mean, I've been on both sides of this. I've been playing a game and somebody wants to talk to you, and I'm a horrible loser. So I am probably like the far end of that spectrum. Shouts out to these guys that go out there and lose games and then can come out and give a good interview. I'm not that person. I've only had to do it at the collegiate level, but when you do it in a professional setting, when all eyes are on you, that's way worse to me. It feels terrible to lose, especially a big game. I mean, if you're losing just during the regular season, you're like, oh, okay, you can probably give a decent interview then because you got the rest of the season. You've got time to kind of overcome this. When you lose game 5 in the finals, or something like that, and now you see that this is a problem, that feels a little different, especially when you're Chris Paul, you're 36, and this might be your last chance to make this happen. You kind of need time to process. These are dreams that you're talking about. Most of these people started having this dream before they could even formulate thoughts properly. You know what I mean? Before they could get sentences out right. They watched TV and dreamed about doing this. And when you see those hopes and dreams kind of dashed before you, it feels some type of way. And she's absolutely right. Nobody went out there and didn't try. That's not what happened. Nobody went out there and said, oh, you know what? I'm not going to give it my all. I'm kind of tired today. I can take these in. That's not what's happening. They go out there, they try their best, and when their best isn't good enough, that feels some type of way. I've always said that they should interview the winning team first. I know that sometimes there's beat reporters, one reporter's on one side, one's on the other because they cover specific teams. Just go hang out with the winning team first. Let me take my shower. Let me get undressed. Let me go to the gym. Let me go get a shot. Let me do whatever, and then let's do a virtual interview later, once I've had time to come down from this. But there might be somebody, my arch nemesis might be on that team. I might not even like you specifically as a reporter. And I got to go out there and still give my best self. I just don't think it's the right time. These are athletes. These aren't PR people. They're athletes. It's a difference.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think even just giving them that time to, take a shower, relax for an hour, even 30 minutes, you're probably going to get a better interview out of it. And you're also going to get a person who's had a little bit of time to think about what happened and maybe start moving on or start coming to terms with the loss or whatever happened. I also think, and this is something that I've said on the show before, that athletes should be given a set number of free passes. And I think it should be no different for the Olympics. They should get a couple, however many, I don't know what it would be, but a handful of free passes where they can say, you know what, I really do not want to do an interview today. And they can't be reprimanded for it. They can't be punished for it. They just can take that day. They can leave right after the game, the race, whatever it is, and move on. And I really feel like that's something that we need to start implementing, because the more we have athletes speak out against the media, the more like contentious that relationship is going to be, and it's not going to benefit anybody. It's not going to benefit the athletes, the news source, or the fans, because the fans do like to see the athletes talk about their performances. So I think something does need to change, and I think it's a little bit difficult to say these journalists should be trained better, because you can't. That everybody comes from a different education background. You don't know where they learned how to do their broadcast journalism skills. So it's going to be hard to kind of.
I still saying that journalists need to be trained better is a fair statement. Because yes, when you go to school, they train you one way. But here's the thing. It's like I'd be talking about Ben Simmons. You sit down and you watch tape. Either we're going to watch tape and get to know what you do, or you can watch your own tape and get better. I think these journalists need to take a moment and sit down and watch tape and see all these horrible reactions that athletes have to these stupid questions. And see, here's the problem. And I'm going to tell you, because I've been in these rooms, what happens is everybody's going in there. No one's going in there with the thought process of saying, hey, let me really interview this person one-on-one, human to human. Everyone's going in there with the thought process of, let me see if I can get that sound bite that's going to go viral. There's a huge difference between wanting to genuinely find out how that athlete feels in that moment and trying to talk to them with some sort of empathy versus trying to get that soundbite. And I'm going to tell you right now, 99% of the time people are going, otherwise you don't ask stupid questions like, how does it feel? How does it feel to see me blank stare you idiot? You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that you're trying to get that soundbite. Because even with that moment, guess, as much as we all said that Rachel Nichols was ridiculous for asking that question, guess what? Every platform was talking about the following day, Rachel Nichols. So good, bad, right, wrong, it got the reaction. I think if people went in there more humane with the understanding of, hey, we've all lost. Maybe you've never lost on a competitive level. Maybe you've literally wanted to be a journalist your whole life, so you never really got into that competitive side. That's fine. We've all taken an L or two in our life. Channel that when you go in there and ask these people some questions, especially these men that are hostile in the first place. Think it through.
Yeah. What I think could be a good solution, since it is easy to say we should train the journalists better, but I feel like it's just hard to standardize that. But what could happen is that prior to the NBA season starting, the NFL season starting, the Olympics, journalists go through a, quick week-long boot camp or whatever they need to do, a weekend boot camp, so that they're kind of given a refresher on what's going to be appropriate and what's not. That's just my one simple solution that I think could maybe help ease the tension between reporters and athletes. But I don't know. I think that what Simone said was really powerful, and I think that it's something that should be taken to heart. But on that note, let's wrap up Need to Know News and move on to the post-up.
Yes, you guys, let's get into the post-up. If you're in the chat, I said we have a big announcement coming at the end of the show, so no tapping out early. Everybody needs to be here. But let's get into this first one, because I'll admit, I'm just going to go ahead and say, yes, I said it, because I did. I didn't know how the men's basketball team would do. I said that they would medal, that I'd be fine with the silver, but I wasn't sure if they could win the gold. I said it. They didn't really show me a lot of evidence to make me feel like I was wrong about that, but they did. They went out there and they won the gold. I do have a little bit of an issue with how KD decided to talk his stuff, but he wanted to address the people who doubted, specifically Kendrick Perkins. So you guys take a look at this.
We're grinding for this one. We're going to go up the stairs. Everybody who said we was going to take the L, they had some power rankings out.
Kendrick Perkins, you talk a lot of shit. A lot of shit.
They had
Act like you American.
They had some power rankings out. They had us fourth behind Slovenia.
Like this not our game.
Come on, man. Talking about they catching up to us. Like, are you serious? This skill is unmatched. You dig? Shout out to everybody that won this gold, everybody that chipped in and helped out. We're going to the press conference, but I had to talk my shit real quick.
So that's the phrase I have a tiny bit of a problem with. When he says this skill is unmatched. because unmatched skill wins by more than 5 points. I'm sorry, it just does. I'm not going to give you unmatched. I'm going to give you one, and that's about as far as I can take it. But I'm not going to give you unmatched. Unmatched? No. But you won, so I get it. Talk your stuff. Now he's got more jokes, but this next one's coming at Patty Mills, you guys. Patty Mills, shouts out to him. 42 points to get Australia the bronze. So let's shout. First of all, I'm surprised at how surprised Patty Mills is about how tall KD is. You guys take a look at this next one.
Get out of here, man. That's my team.
Hey,
right
yo.
Cheers.
Hey, Patty coming back to the BK. Black and white. Hey. Hey, you balling. I got 40 tonight. There's going to be problems for the Boston Celtics this year. I'm telling you.
Fuck out of here. You know how to lock Patty ass up. This guy's a problem.
Said he's going to lock Patty up. Look, I see you, Ty, in the chat. No. Unmatched is when I go in there and beat you by 30 points. 5 points is we got a little bit lucky. That's all I'm going to say. That's a little bit lucky. But I love this. You guys know that I've told you time and time again about the tequila that LeBron has. It's called Lobos. I have the cheap one. Mine is the clear one. There's a gold one, which is the next one I'm going to get. So they decided to go gold for gold on this one. And I love this. But y'all just take a look at how LeBron James posted it. I saw, if you're on my story, you saw, he says, hey, that's right, in the cup, liquid gold. He says, cheers, champs. Love to see it. I love to see when guys support each other like this. I'm going to show you this moment in time, though, when KD says, hey, LeBron, y'all tell me, how drunk is this man on a scale of 1 to 10? I want to see it in the chat. Let me know. 10 is like he's just gone. Let me know how drunk you think he is in the chat. Take a look.
Some gold medals. You know what I'm saying? And 40 and Lobos in the cup.
Lobos.
You know what I'm saying?
Bron. Hey, Bron. Hey, Bron. Bron. We got that Lobos in this cup.
Lobos in the cup, man. You know what I'm talking about? Lobos in the cup.
Lobos.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, Devin, how drunk is KD?
Very drunk. I think that it's very obvious he's very drunk.
Right?
But also, I wanted to...
That's the universal sign for I'm drunk, when your head goes back and you just say somebody's name. Rod.
I also loved how he called out Kendrick Perkins. That was, for me, such an amazing moment. Those two hate each other. I just love that. I love the drama.
They do. Doug said it in the chat. I love how Draymond came up and co-signed. Officially, we can say that there's no beef between those two men, KD and Draymond, coming together to bash Kendrick Perkins. I thought it was a good look. Okay, there's an 8. So we're saying he's a solid 8 on the drunk level. That's not super drunk. Well, that 10 is super drunk. 8's, you need to call an Uber. At least he's on the bus. So congratulations to the U.S. men. Again, I didn't think that this was going to happen. I knew he would medal, but I didn't think he was going to get the gold. So congratulations to all of you guys. Now, let's go to this next one. Because the guy that we all miss, I mean, I do think all of us, I've said this before, I don't know one person who doesn't like Klay Thompson. Everybody loves him in some way, shape, or form. He's out here giving great advice while being in my favorite lunchtime spot. This made me feel good all the way around. So you guys take a look at Klay out here giving out good fatherly advice. Take a listen.
I'm here with Klay Thompson. I'm here with Kai. We're about to get a fire burrito bowl.
Hell yeah.
So show some love on TikTok, man. Follow my boy.
Klay Thompson, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's one advice you have for upcoming entrepreneurs and athletes?
Ooh, that's a great question, Kai. Just be yourself. Be patient, because it's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Hell yeah.
And be original, and just stick to your core values, and just don't measure your success based off what other people do. Everyone is at their own pace, and it's not about the material things. It's about inner peace and doing something you're passionate about. So that would be my advice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, Klay at Chipotle, giving out the good advice. I see you, Klay. I love it. I actually love to see Klay every time I see him on social media. He just seems like such a well-rounded guy, very grounded, very humble. Can't wait for him to get back on the court. And I'm praying for a successful season for him, an injury-free season. But to those people who said that he's washed up, I cannot tell you how many tweets I saw under this that said, so what? Don't listen to him. He's washed up. And it all started because of this guy. This is the first guy that started it, and everybody followed suit. And he says, don't care, he fell off. No, he didn't. He got injured. There's a difference, sir. But this clapback, I love this. He said, bro, you have a 7 emoji by your name to try to trick people into thinking you were verified. I didn't even notice that. I thought he was. Facts. You out here pretending to be something you're not, clowning a man who's actually great. I love this clapback. I'm going to probably do that, though. I'm not even going to lie. I'm going to put that number 7 by my name, trick everybody think I'm verified. I'm not mad at that. Devin, you going to put a 7 by your name?
You know, probably not. I don't think I will, but I would like to be truly verified. That's what I would like.
I'm not team verified, and that's because I say a lot of things that make people mad. And if you have the blue check mark, you make more people mad. So I just want to stick to my mad crew. Stay mad. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you would fit in so great with people that follow me on Twitter. You'd be mad all the time. Just go follow me on Twitter, and then I'll put the fake check mark there, and then we'll just have our mad family together. I feel like in my heart of hearts, no one, and I mean no one, has me beat on the SHAQ impression. I feel like I do the best SHAQ impression. It's not just how he talks, it's his cadence, it's his slow. I feel like I have it all down. Dwight Howard, though, he trying to get me. I still don't think it's as good as mine, though. You guys take a listen and let me know who has the better SHAQ impression. Take a listen.
Like Muhammad.
I still got the Milwaukee Bucks winning. Why? Huh? I still got the Milwaukee Bucks winning. I got Giannis. He's the new Superman. So I think he's gonna win.
All right, Shaq. God dang.
That ring didn't count.
I'm going to tell you why this wasn't as good. He opened his mouth too wide, and I could understand every word he was saying. That is why your SHAQ impression is not that good. It's not that
Jackie,
good.
Do yours.
All I want to say that, right, he tried it, but I got a G5 certification, Nobody do it like me.
You got to hold your head down. It seems like you're trying to talk to your death. Yeah, you got to talk to yourself.
You know what I'm saying? Who is Johnny? Who's this guy? Where's he coming from? Is he good as me?
You know what I'm saying? You barely understood what I was saying.
I did not understand a single thing you just said, so I would say you did a good job there. But you're right about Dwight opening his mouth way too wide for that, and also not blending the words in together enough. It's got to be
one word, not a sentence. It's a word. He's got one word. He tried it, Dwight. I love Dwight, though, so I'm still going to give him a 9 because I love me some Dwight Howard, and he tried it. But look, SHAQ feels some type of way about this. He commented on it, and he says, not bad, Dwight Howard. Reminds me of your game. So. Oh, SHAQ, do you feel some type of way about people impersonating you? Now I'm going to give you a 10, Dwight, because you got SHAQ out here mad, and I'm all for that. This user had something to say about it, and I thought that was kind of funny as well. He says, What? My man can't fire back without everyone saying he's sensitive? That's funny, Mr. Aristotle. School him. Okay, I'm going to give you that one. That was kind of funny. This next user, I think, says something very similar. If I have one more, I think He says, what is this firing back at exactly? Dwight was doing impersonations of multiple people. SHAQ's acting like Dwight was mocking him or something. He did that. That's just part of the clip. He was doing impressions of a lot of people. But still, I liked it. SHAQ did not. And anytime you get SHAQ a little bit upset, I like it. So let's go to this next one, because this is one of those things where I'm on both sides of the fence. I am very frugal. You guys know that I hate to see ball players out here spending like $250,000 on a chain that hangs around your neck. Or when we saw PJ get $250,000 of upgrades to his shoes that he's going to take and walk outside where people pee on the ground. Literally, people and dogs pee on the ground. Why would you do that? Makes no sense to me. So I'm very team frugal. However, I believe your viewing experience, when you're at home, that's your castle. So if you're going to splurge on things that you have at home, even if you got 2 homes. This is not how I expect Lonzo Ball to be watching a game. This bothered me. That TV, that bothers me. You got them 2 tiny little speakers. Where this little tiny little table with a cloth over it. It's not even a table. It's like it's got a cloth over it. That TV is what? I don't know what it is. It's not as big as mine, and mine's not even that big. I got a 60-inch, but that's definitely not a 60-inch TV. Lonzo, no. This is not how you watch TV. Oh God, okay, Lonzo, I love you, but don't be this frugal. You got a little bit more money. Devin, go ahead.
It's worse than my setup, and I'm on like a 1/40th of Lonzo's budget. Like maybe even less than that. Yeah, I am very bad at math, so I don't know if that is accurate at all, but like, why does it look like that? I'm so embarrassed for him. He needs an interior designer. He needs to get some sort of cute media center. First of all, also a bigger TV when he's got that much money, and get those cords hidden into the wall. Don't let those cords hang out like that. So I'm very upset by this.
My cords are hanging, I will admit, because I have this little thing that's supposed to hide the cord. You like stick it on, you know what I'm talking about, and then it blends in with the wall. But mine, the sticky part fell off, and I've been busy. I just haven't gotten the sticky part. But you're right.
Exactly.
Hide the cord.
And we're balling on a budget over here. So like if our sticky thing falls off, like that's okay for us, not for Lonzo. Lonzo could get somebody to fix that in 2 minutes.
Right. I agree. This is not how. Now my thinking is maybe this is just his little getaway spot or something. I don't know, but I've seen some dope getaway. I don't know. I'm with Cristobal says, where's his towering PS5? That was my next question. Like, where's your gaming station? What is happening? But that's just me. I guess I'm glad that some of you guys are at least with me on that. He says, Blacklight says, I have a TV in my garage that looked like a garage. But it's not. That's the bad part. So let's go on to this next user, because I feel like this user is right in what they said. Because I'm over here worried about this man's TV and how he's watching TV. And why is your couch so far away and your TV is that small? A lot of things bothered me about this picture. But Law Manning says, that's what I'm talking about. Camaraderie and support. Show off your USA basketball teammate, man. He yours. See, now he out there looking at the bigger picture. He's thinking about Lonzo supporting Zach in this moment. I didn't even think about that. I was so caught up in the size of that TV. That's just me. I get that. This next user, different, kind of same opinion, but maybe not. Let me throw up one more tweet that I have from this. Somebody says Nets in 4. I see you. I don't know about that one. I think maybe I don't have one more tweet, but that was the same thing. Like, hey, Zach's your teammate. Who cares what side? But you know what? You could watch your teammate on a bigger TV. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, but let's go on to this next one. Speaking about Lonzo and all the Ball brothers, here's the thing. None of us, and I do mean none. I have not met one person it's the exact opposite of KLAY. I've never met anybody who says, you know what? I like LAVAR Ball. He's just not a likable guy. You just gotta be honest about that. But say what you want. In my opinion, I think he's a good father. No matter what, he's always there. He's always present. He's always showing up. He's always pushing his boys to do the best that they possibly can. You can argue his business sense later, but I'm talking about as far as how he shows up for his boys. He's always going to show up. And he showed up for Jello's Summer League debut, which I'm all for that once again. But you guys take a look at what he's wearing. Let me show you this tweet. So if you can see his hat, I don't know if you can see it, but his hat says, I told you so. Look at the look on his face. Flawless picture from whoever this photographer is. That is the exact moment that you wanted to take this picture. He's like, I told you it was going to be like this. Again, I love to see him showing up for his boys. Again, regardless of what you say, it's a lot of respect for this boy. Man, let's get to this next tweet. Because again, I agree with this 100%. Got to give him respect. Got all his sons in the NBA. So not mad at this man at all. But what I really was happy to see, and maybe it's just little things that I noticed, look at the mom. You guys know she had some health issues. She was trying to regain her speech and mobility back, and she had some facial issues because of that. Look how healthy she looks and like she's moving in the right direction. Obviously, I didn't hear her talk, so I don't know if her speech is back, but just from her look, she looks like she's on the right path. I just had to take a moment and say, yay, we're still rooting for you. I'm glad to see how well you look in this moment, and I hope you're getting better day by day. Also, still have to shout out Lonzo, because Lonzo was supporting from afar, because Ball's Life posted this: 16 points in 16 minutes. 5 for 10 from field goal, 5 for 8 from 3-point, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals. Y'all know steals is one of my favorite stats. Go ahead. That is awesome. Lonzo says been doing this, LIANGELO Ball. So shouts out. Regardless of what you think about this family, they circle the wagons when it comes to each other, and that's all you really can hope for from family. Devin, what did you think about this moment?
So you know that I'm very critical of LAVAR just because he is so obnoxious and he's always saying some crazy outlandish things. But, you know, ultimately what I've come to realize and respect about him is that he's a good dad, and he is out there supporting and cheering his sons on more than pretty much any dad I feel like we've ever seen. And he's annoying about it, and he gets maybe a little too involved. He's a little bit overbearing, but ultimately he's done something right, because he has LaMelo with his standout rookie year. He has Lonzo, who just signed a major deal with the Bulls, and LIANGELO, who's playing in the summer games. So he's doing something right. He's doing something right, and got to give him his props. He's annoying, but he's a decent dad. He's a good dad, actually.
Yeah, and I think he loves his family. Blacklight Zen, I don't think that's a fair statement, what you said earlier. I think he loves every person in his family. And you can just tell by the way he roots for them, and he's pulling for everybody. So he's still annoying. Not going to take that away from him, but I do believe he loves his family, and that's all that matters. So this next one, I really, really wish I could show you the video. I cannot, because the Olympics is all, you know, with their property. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to YouTube, Twitter, or whatever. Just Google Diana Taurasi embarrassing opponent. Okay, and I want you to see it because it is hilarious. It looks like one of those cartoons. It looks like the Monstars is what it looks like. First of all, Diana Taurasi, I'm 5'11". Diana Taurasi is an inch taller than me. That is not so tall that I feel like I can go out and play basketball and just hold my hand up and my defender can't get the ball. What? This is the most hilarious moment in time. There's this whole moment that she's just kind of like, oh, you got to be quicker than that. It is hilarious. Please go find this video. But this photo alone is hilarious. You probably cannot see the ref and the coach in the background, which I'm going to get to in a second. But look, this user is right. For those of you who think that that's a foul, of course it's a foul. That's not the point. Says it's not a foul for holding? What are the rules for this? You can just hold on to an opponent and keep them from jumping? This is basketball, right? You are correct, sir. It was a foul. The hard part is when you're laughing, it's kind of hard to call the foul. That's it. Y'all take a look at the ref. He's literally laughing. The coach is like, oh my God, Diana, stop. Oh my God, Diana, stop. Like everybody is laughing at this moment. Please, please, please. Devin, please tell me that you saw this video and the picture does not suggest it. You have to see the video.
You do have to see the video. So when we're done with the show, you guys should go check that out because it is very funny. And I like that everybody around is like,
right. So please go watch it. And just her like, I feel like circus music should be playing in the background. You know, like dun, 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 dun. It's hilarious, you guys.
Yeah.
Please go watch. Let's move on to one of my favorite quarterbacks before he retired, Peyton Manning. I have a friend who's a reporter for the Denver Broncos, and he says that Peyton Manning is such a jokester. He laughs all the time. He plays pranks on his teammates, and everybody loves him. I totally believe that. You can tell from them State Farm commercials or Nationwide, whatever commercial he is. I feel like he's just a likable guy. So I love this moment in time where he decides to poke fun at how long Tom Brady could possibly play in the league. So that's the part. And then the second part is how the fans react to it. Take a look.
Next year, acceptance speeches will probably shrink to 4 minutes. And speaking of rivals, my good friend Tom Brady is here tonight. By the time he is inducted, By the time Tom Brady is inducted in his first year of eligibility in the year 2035, he'll only have time to post his acceptance speech on his Instagram account.
Poor Tom. He's like, what? What did I do wrong? Come on, Tom. You know what you did wrong. I'm still on Team Tampa Tom. But you know, when you was in New England, you did a lot of things wrong, sir. So don't act funny. But I love this moment in time, the disrespect from the fans, all of that. I absolutely loved it. All right, let's get on to this next one. Because I've always said that most security guards, they're not about that life. And I wouldn't be about that life either if I'm going to be a security guard at a sporting event. I'm going to be a security guard at the sporting event because I really want to watch games for free and get paid for them. That's what I want. But I'm not ready to actually tussle with somebody. That's not why I'm there. I'm a fan getting paid to watch the game. Let's be clear. And let me tell you, the security at the Dodgers game, they prove they not about that life. Couldn't none of them even chase down this man who's not even running that fast. But y'all, let's thank God for the ball girl. She's out here laying on full-on tackles. Take a look. First of all, I love her walk back. Like after she tackles him, she walks back and she looks like, y'all got him now? You didn't? Okay. Like you couldn't do your job earlier. I got you. I'm gonna help you out. But here come the dad police. And I'm not sure I'm mad at this statement because I get it. This man definitely probably has a daughter. But he says, if I'm that ball girl's parents, I'm having a short conversation with her. Hell no. Never again. Understand me? I get that. This is a girl dad. And he's like, baby, you can't be putting your body in harm's way for some random. No, I get that. But on the other hand, this was amazing. People say she'll be on the Tonight Show in 2 days. And this person says, too late. She's literally goated now. 100% agree with her. And it's the walk back for me. Like, y'all couldn't catch him, huh? I got you. I got you. I absolutely love this. Anytime one of these ladies can step up and do their thing, I love it. I love it. Well done, young lady. Let's get to this next one because I'm just going to ask Leo to do me a quick favor because this is going to take me a minute to get my bearings back. So, Leo, when we play this, can you please let it play 3 times? And I want you guys to focus. Now, I just talked about the young lady who did the walk back like you guys got this. I want you to watch the walk up and how this man walks up. He's doing that punching bag game. You know, that thing that gives you the numbers and tells you how hard your punch is. Watch the walk up and see how confident he is before this epic L. Take a look.
How did that even happen?
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell you, Leo posting that. First of all, who hits like this? You can't hit from the side. It's a punch, not a. Who hits like that? Look, what? What is he? He looks like he's about to swing a baseball bat. What is he doing?
He's doing like a 360-degree hook. He's like going all the way, starting from here and going all the way around here.
He was so confident, though. I love the arrogance, like, I got this. And then, bam, I love that so much. And I love the pettiness of, this was posted on Instagram. So the first one said, I would disappear from this place forever. But this is the one I love because, like I said, this is that game that tells you how hard you hit. And he says, we still need that score, fam. Like, facts. I need to know what this person scored. A Rush says he was too short. You think? One more time, just so we can see. Is that right? Okay, Devin, is that why? Is it because he's too short? Is he too short?
Okay, I mean, you guys know I'm short, and I have boxed with those things before, and I've never done that. So I think it's a combination of bad form, too much cockiness, maybe slippery floor. I'll give him that. Maybe they were freshly cleaned and a little slippery. I don't know.
I have two things, though. I agree with that last person. I need to see that score, number one. And number two, I need to see the person who's filming. I think it was a young lady that was filming it. I need to see what her score was if she went. I need to see who won. So that's what I need. Post that somewhere, you guys. I got to see that. That was fun, though. That was a great way to end the post up. I brought you up. I'm going to take you down a little bit because this one, I don't even know how to approach this. This is one of those things when I read it, I was like, yep, that sounds right. That sounds right. For those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in Denver, Colorado. I am not a fan of Denver, except for when Payton was there. But aside from that, not a fan of Denver. It is racist as hell in Denver. Sure, we have racism here in LA, but it's not Denver racist. Denver racist is in your face 1 minute and then tries to be a fake ally the next, but deep down inside, they racist as hell. I don't know if you guys know this, but I go home every other month to visit my mom. 2 weeks, so not last week, this past weekend, but the weekend before I was in Denver, when I arrived, there was an Uber. Thank God it wasn't my Uber, but you have to go out to this thing. It's not like LA where you got to walk half a mile to get to the Uber. But there was this Uber that pulled up that had a little Confederate, those things that go around your license plate, had a Confederate flag on the license plate. Driving down the street the next day, huge Confederate flag off of a Ford F-150. That should paint the picture of how racist Denver is. It's a very racist place. I'm not a fan. I've been there. I've overheard white people saying racist things, and then they turn around and look at you like they daring you to say something. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. So I'm not at all surprised to hear this story because it just sounded like I've been to Bronco games when this has happened as a kid. So yeah, no, this isn't surprising to me. But Lewis Brinson of the Miami Marlins, he was up to bat. And at some point, somebody from the alt-right MAGA rednecks decided to yell out the N-word when he missed. And it's so I need you to understand this. We can hear it on the video. That lets you know how loud it is, because anything that you hear on the video, that means that they are exponentially loud in the stands. It's almost impossible to hear some of these things on the video by the time it gets from the fans to the actual video. So I want you to take a listen to what this man says about Lewis. Take a listen.
Ugh.
So let me tell you what I saw. Okay, you're just gonna have an at the half moment. That's my podcast. I'm just gonna get real with you guys for a minute. This, to me, there was a couple of things that infuriated me about this video, and I'm gonna get to a tweet that echoes that sentiment. No one reacted. Now, I say this on my show all the time, that I don't think as Black folks we have real allies. We have social media allies. That's entirely different than being a real ally. An ally, because if we had real allies, if people really gave a damn, if racism was really dying out the way that people thought, guess what would have happened? Nobody in the front that you saw was anything but white. There was only white people present. People were high-fiving, talking. I saw one lady waving like, hey, girl, how you doing? Nobody was offended by this at all. Nobody stood up and called this man out and said, hey, what the hell are you doing? That's not what we do here. Nobody did that. Everybody just went on about their day by like it was usual. And the reason that they did it like that is because they're used to saying this, number one, or they're used to hearing it too, and they don't give a damn, number three. It is infuriating to see that no one reacted. So much so that now the Colorado Rockies has to introduce this whole, and I'm going to say how I feel at this fake outrage, because we heard it. And as Black people, Black Twitter was on it. And of course they were, as they should be. So now the Colorado Rockies issued this statement. It says the Colorado Rockies are disgusted at the racial slur by a fan directed at the Marlins Lewis Brinson during the 9th inning of today's game. Although the subject was not identified Prior to the end of the game, the Rockies are still investigating the incident. The Rockies have a zero tolerance for any form of racism or discrimination, and any fan using derogatory language of any kind will be ejected and banned from Coors Field. You're investigating it because your fan base don't give a damn. And that's not only a problem with Denver, and trust me when I tell you it's a huge problem in Denver, that is a problem with baseball fans. It is one of those things. People, when I was in Denver, people used to invite me to Coors Field all the time. Hell no, I'm not going. I am not going because I know I'm going to be in a sea of white folks, and I'm from Denver, and I know how things go when people start drinking. I know who I am as a person, and I'm not going to be silent. I'm not going to back down, and I'm going to be out there by myself with no backup. No, thank you. I am not going. I am not doing that. This is appalling. This is not just a Denver problem, in my opinion. This is a baseball problem, in my opinion. Let's go on to what some people in Twitter, and that's the thing, too. You go to Twitter, once again, it's not even... There's no white outrage on Twitter. It's black Twitter that's mad. Of course it is. It's always us that are mad about these things that happen to us because, again, the best that we can hope for right now is social media allies. But they're like, oh, it's just a game. So this guy says the Rockies, the fans sitting around, the racists, and the umpires all failed Lewis Brinson. The lack of response from some and slow response from others is clear indication of where some people stand on this. They could care less about racism. Some are even complicit. I would say most. There's no way in hell that these people get to sit around and say, hey, can I have a hot dog when you hear somebody saying the N-word right behind you if you gave a damn. You do not give a damn. Stop playing with me. I'm not buying into this false, oh, kumbaya that y'all keep putting out here. I'm not doing it. I am not buying into this. Got another tweet here for you as well. So this one is, again, says in this baseball video for the player, the Miami Marlins, Lewis Brinson is being called the N-word by a fan at Coors Field. This is happening in 2021. And if baseball wonders why it has issues attracting black players and fans, it's attitudes like this. Absolutely. It's why I don't go. It's why I don't watch it. It's why I don't care about it. I don't care about baseball. I just don't. And this is one of the reasons why. It's like it goes NASCAR, baseball. When we're talking about racist attitudes, that's how it goes for me. So I'm going to say this. I know I've said this on the show before. I'm going to say it again. Black people, you cannot use the N-word. I don't care if it's the soft A or what. I've blocked several of you on here for using the N-word. And every time I see it, I know I'm going to miss it sometimes, but every time I see it, I'm going to block you. Because that's not a word that just because you slang it up and you say it a little bit different, it still has the same meaning. It is still a word that white people use to demean us and belittle us. And you using it to talk to your brothers and sisters makes no sense. Do better. Because they still refer to us as that. And you should be offended when anybody calls you that word. So, Lewis, I want to apologize to you publicly. If I was you, I would never set foot in Coors Field again. And that's the other part of this. We've got to start taking stands on our own. We can't just let this slide over. I would never set foot in Coors Field again. I would, dare I say, start a protest where no black players set foot in Coors Field until you properly identified this person. Either that or go in there with the Nation of Islam, the Black Panthers, and me. And every time you go up to bat, I'm just going to stand and face the crowd, and I wish you would. I really wish you would. But what we're not going to do is pretend like this is, oh, my God, so shocking. No, it's not. We still live in the United States. This is still how things go. And that's all I have to say about that.
That is so shameful. It is so shameful. And I know it's not shocking because of the country that we live in, but even watching it, I'm still like, how does nobody say anything? I've been in situations where I'm confronting people saying racist stuff to the people I'm with and even to strangers. And it's like, I know I'm like very sweet and can't really like confront people, but I get so aggressive in those situations because why would you sit by and be okay with that kind of thing? So that's, I mean, it's appalling and it's shameful. And yeah, no wonder baseball does have a problem building up a black audience because yeah, why would, like, I feel the same way as you, Jackie. So that's terrible. Just terrible.
Now it's
you guys, we are wrapping up what we're not going to do and the show. I have a little update for everybody. So this Wednesday actually marks my last day on the Fumble. So I won't be here anymore, but Jackie is going to be here taking care of you guys. She is going to still be delivering all the sports news. She's going to be doing it with that sass and sense of humor that she always does. The chat is going wild right now with this person. Anyway, you guys, I just want to let you all know that I will no longer be working with the Fumble starting this Wednesday. I'm very sad to be leaving, but I have a new opportunity that I'm excited to pursue. It's been really great being able to get on this live show with Jackie every single day and talk to you guys about what's been going on with LeBron and the NBA in general and the NFL. I've really enjoyed it, and I appreciate all of you guys so much. So thank you for being such a great audience. Let's wrap up the show because I don't like what I'm seeing in the chat. This is outrageous right now. Subscribe, tap the bell, leave a comment below, share this video with your friends, and we'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.